The House of Representatives has approved a White House request to claw back 2 years of previously approved funding for public media. The rescissions package now moves on to the Senate. This move poses a serious threat to local stations and public media as we know it. Please take a stand for public media today at goacpr.org. Thank you.
Hey, before we get to this week's show, we're working on something new for NPR Plus supporters. They're pulling me out of mothballs to answer some of your car questions. So if you have a car question you'd like to ask me, I'll give you a number and you can call in a moment. And just like the old days, our extremely lazy producers will eventually listen to the messages, pick a few callers for me, we'll set up a time to talk, and I'll screw up the answers just like the old days. NPR Plus supporters will find these occasional, and I do mean occasional episodes, in their NPR Plus Car Talk feed. So if you have a car question, here's the number. It's 888-522-5478. That's 888-522-5478. Now here's the show.
Hello and welcome to Car Talk from National Public Radio with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers, and we're broadcasting this week from the Center for the Study of the Mind of the Mechanic here at Car Talk Plaza.
No, it's not just a mechanic.
Well, we have new insights, and this is actually a study that took place in Italy. But since we are both Italian Americans and auto mechanics, I feel confident in applying the results willy-nilly, whoever willy-nilly is, to auto mechanics everywhere.
No.
Now, this was published in the Italian Psychology Review, Risa Psicosomatica. And here's the news. You ready for this?
Yeah.
70% of Italian men and women interviewed confessed to telling between 5 and 10 lies every day. With the most common of all lies being, you ready for this? Tell me if this sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's all been taken care of.
See, I don't think this applies to mechanics everywhere. I have to take issue with that.
Really?
Yeah. I think it applies to Italians everywhere.
Maybe.
I mean, Italians just have to lie. They don't know how to tell the, but 7 to 10 every day?
Well, here's it. 27% lied to cover up errors. That makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Another 21% lied for the good of some other person. For example, one of you guys leaves the drain plug loose on the oil pan. You're going to lie to protect him, right?
Of course.
Otherwise, they'll put him up before a firing squad.
Or your wife says, "Am I fat?" And you're lying to protect your butt.
Well, code of honor kind of stuff. You know. And 42% said they lied to avoid conflicts. That's pretty good.
Yeah, like if your wife says, "Am I fat?"
Let me see. So we got 42%, 27% from the other thing, 21%. What's that come up to?
90.
90. What about the other 10%?
I guess they just lied for practice. I love this. I love this study.
Yeah. Is it just Italians?
Well, I mean, it happened to be done with Italians, but I suppose who else would lie?
Have you lied today?
I lied today. No. I got a lot of catching up to do. I got 10 to go.
We got a few lies in store. Am I fat?
No,
Do I look fat to you?
No, you're short. Short for your weight. Is that what they say?
Well, that's good. That's very comforting.
How do I look? Pretty good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now
If you want to call us about your car or have us lie to you about your
only
car,
9 to go.
the number's 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hello, this is Dave from Essex, Connecticut.
Hello,
Dave.
This is Hal. Essex,
Dave.
Connecticut.
Yep,
Didn't you see 2001?
I sure did. I
Yeah.
know how well.
You know who Dave is.
So what's going on, Dave?
Well, I got a 1989 Isuzu Trooper with 100,000 miles on it, but I'm experiencing a groaning noise with the braking, and in particular when I'm going at real slow speed and turning the wheel. But I don't experience any grinding feeling or anything like that.
So there you are, you're driving along, you're going to take a right turn or something, and you step on the brake, and as you're taking the turn, you hear...
Yep, exactly it.
Isn't that perfect? I have no idea what it is.
Does that mean I'm in trouble?
How long has the noise been there?
It's been there for about a month now.
I don't think it's the brakes.
Uh-huh.
Well, brakes mostly don't groan. The only time that brakes groan is if you're parked on a steep hill, if you're stopped on a steep hill, for example, waiting for a light, and you very, very lightly start to take your foot off the brake, but you don't, otherwise you'd roll. Then the brakes will groan. Just like that. But you're moving. If you're moving, it's almost impossible for brakes to groan.
It is. My brother's... Your car doesn't have any brakes.
I'm
does
an
it,
expert
Tommy?
on
Tommy.
groans, not on brakes. On groans.
No, he's giving us all the... Your car doesn't have brakes, does it?
Not really.
No, I don't think so. How would he know? I think it's rather a suspension kind of noise.
certainly
maybe
sounds
maybe a
suspension.
dry bushing or something like that.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
That's what I would guess, too.
Yeah, and it has to do with the combination of, for example, if you're making a right-hand turn, the groan, I'm going to guess, is going to come from the left front.
There's a great deal of debate on exactly where it is coming from. We had 4 people in the Trooper. Everybody thought it was coming from where they were.
Well, that's because they were in the Trooper. You need to strap someone to the hood.
Oh, we
Or
can
is
do
it
that.
lashed? Lash someone to the hood.
I know just the guy.
I knew you would.
Your father-in-law, right?
No.
Yeah, I mean, it might be just a spring mount. It might be a control arm bushing. And I'll bet you if you take it into the shop, you can make it happen by getting a real heavy person to stand on one end of the bumper and make it compress that
With
shock.
the vehicle not moving, you might be able to compress the spring by pushing on that one corner of the car, and by doing so, make the control arm bushings work and the ball joints and all that stuff, and you'll find the noise.
Yeah.
And you do that with the wheels turned over, like you were parking in the garage.
Sure.
Put it over to a right turn.
Yeah, exactly.
likely.
Shut the engine off and just have a very heavy person push down or sit on that right front fender or the left front fender. The other person crawl underneath the car, and I bet you can reproduce it. And then you'll be able to find out exactly where it is.
Uh-huh.
Is your mother-in-law busy this weekend?
One way to do it is if you're down under the car and you still can't tell where the sound is coming from, start feeling things, because a lot of times when you can't really locate the sound, you can feel where it's coming from.
Okay, we'll try that.
And make sure that they don't push hard enough on that to crush your skull while you're under there. That's always a danger,
Yeah.
So I just got to pick the proper weight person.
There you go.
All righty.
See you, Dave.
We'll do that. Thank
Good luck.
you.
Good luck.
All right.
Bye-bye.
1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Nancy from Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi. Well, what's up, Nancy?
Well, I got a problem or a decision to make, and I thought maybe you guys could help me with it.
Yeah.
I'm about to move from Carlisle, Pennsylvania to the Cape Cod.
Really?
Yep. Big decision.
What town are you moving to on the Cape?
Probably Wellfleet,
Oh,
but I'm not
God.
sure yet.
Oh, Wellfleet's great.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sure
God,
it
for
is.
sake of
You've been
place.
there,
Yes, I have. Uh-huh.
and you want to live there forever.
Yeah, I do. I
Really?
figure I can get into Boston and do things there.
No, you won't get into Boston.
No,
Yes,
you'll
I
never leave
will.
Wellfleet.
You'll never leave. Wellfleet is 2 hours from Boston.
So I'll take the ferry.
It's 4 hours from Boston.
The ferry doesn't run except for 3 weeks out of the year.
Oh, is that true?
Water's frozen all the time.
Well, that's all right. That's
Labor
why
strikes.
I need a car. I have an Acura Integra,
Yeah.
and I also have a very large dog. My dog is about the same weight that I am. So I had a truck before the second car, and I sold that, so I can't haul her around in that Acura. It just isn't fair.
No.
So I have to decide what to buy, and I've considered a minivan. I've looked at the Honda Odyssey, and I've looked at a Subaru, the Outback.
The Subaru doesn't seem big enough to me.
Okay.
I mean, you got like a 120-pound dog?
Yeah.
What is she?
Oh, dear. I knew you'd ask that. She's part Timberwolf and part German Shepherd.
Timberwolf?
Yeah, now, let's not pursue that. I don't
No,
want
we
people
won't.
Getting mad at me. She's wonderful. She's the best dog I've ever owned.
That's good.
So I'm never afraid to leave my car open or something with her sitting.
You got the best anti-theft device in the world.
I bet. She's wonderful.
Do you have that sign in your window that says, "Don't break into this car. All survivors will be prosecuted"?
All they have to do is look.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that the Odyssey is the bare minimum size for a vehicle.
But it doesn't have four-wheel drive, and that kind of... Do I need four-wheel drive up there?
No.
In Wellfleet?
Yeah.
I mean, it does snow a little bit, but
Yeah, you can live without it.
you don't need it.
I was just wondering if you should go to an SUV, or as my neighbor Dick Malio calls them, an urban attack vehicle,
Otherwise known as a...
a sport utility vehicle.
Oh, they feel so clunky, though, don't
They
they?
are, and I don't like them. I don't like any of them, to tell you the truth.
Well, I do a lot of driving, and somehow that just doesn't sound like it's going to be real comfortable.
No, and they've become trendy.
They have.
Yeah, and I don't like trendy.
Yeah, no, I like the Odyssey for you because it is sort of a minivan, but it isn't really.
Yeah.
The Outback, of course, has the advantage of four-wheel drive.
But it's small.
It's smaller, but you should look and see if there's enough room for you and Nanook of the North there.
Sable. Her name is Sable.
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 Yep.
Hey, Nancy, I want to officially welcome you to Massachusetts.
Thank you.
And I'll look forward to bumping into you, sort of,
Yeah.
somewhere on the Cape.
Well, I may end up bringing my car to you someday.
All right.
Who knows?
Great.
Well, thank you.
Enjoy Cape Cod. You'll be having plenty of lobsters this summer.
Love them.
See ya.
Love them. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Hey, how about a break?
What, from you? I'll take that any day.
And when we come back, I want to share some news with you about contact sports.
Well, we'll be back in a minute.
This message comes from Wise, the app for doing things in other currencies. With Wise, you can send, spend, or receive money across borders, all at a fair exchange rate. No markups or hidden fees. Join millions of customers and visit wise.com. T's and C's apply.
This is Ira Glass of This American Life. Each week on our show, we choose a theme, tell different stories on that theme. All right, I'm just going to stop right there. You're listening to an NPR podcast. Chances are you know our show. So instead, I'm going to tell you we've just been on a run of really good shows lately. Some big, epic, emotional stories and some weird, funny stuff, too. Download us, This American Life.
Decades ago, Brazilian women made a discovery. They could have an abortion without a doctor, thanks to a tiny pill. That pill spawned a global movement, helping millions of women have safe abortions regardless of the law. Hear that story on The Network from NPR's Embedded and Futuro Media, wherever you get your podcasts.
These days, there is a lot of news. It can be hard to keep up with what it means for you, your family, and your community. Consider This from NPR as a podcast that helps you make sense of the news. 6 days a week, we bring you a deep dive on a story and provide the context, the backstory, and analysis you need to understand our rapidly changing world. Listen to the Consider This podcast from NPR.
Hi, we're back. You're listening to Car Talk on National Public Radio with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers, and we're here to discuss cars, car repair, and contact sports.
This is very quick. It came on email, Dennis Gittinger from somewhere. Football commentator and former player Joe Theismann. Do you ever hear of him?
Yes, he was a quarterback for the Washington Redskins, I believe.
Okay, here's his quote. Nobody in football should be called a genius. A genius would be a guy like Norman Einstein. And Joe clearly ain't that. I've seen Norman Einstein, Joe, and you ain't no Norman Einstein.
Must be a typo.
How about Pat Summerall? Here's his. A long time ago, football commentator and former player Pat Summerall was lamenting the new rules designed to protect the quarterback. He summarized his feelings thusly. If you take the violence out of football, the stands will be filled with no shows. Seated in the stands will be people who didn't show up.
Pretty good. He must have collaborated with Yogi Berra on that one.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Nobody goes to Coney Island anymore. It's too crowded.
Too crowded.
Well, look, if you have a question about your car or anything else, our number is 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hello, this is Tom Elder from Bridgeport, West Virginia.
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
Bridgeport, West Virginia.
Yes, it's in West Virginia.
Yeah, okay.
Is that where they make those big machines?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh,
No, they make
We
those in
don't make
Bridgeport,
anything.
Connecticut.
well, I knew that.
This
but
is a little Bridgeport.
yeah,
Right.
mini
This is a little
Bridgeport.
Bridgeport.
Mini Bridgeport.
So
yeah.
what's shaking, Tom?
Well, my son had a friend sell him a car for $1. And he wants to get his daughter this car to drive back and forth to school from Connecticut to South Carolina. It is a 1984 Subaru GL10 luxury model, all electric, which still works, 5-speed manual transmission with 146,000 miles on it. He tells me that this car is not broke in until it has 100,000 miles on it and is good for 400,000 miles.
Who told you this? Your son?
My son, yes.
He's nuts.
And he says the only thing wrong with it is the wheel wells are rusted out, and he's got a guy that'll cut the rusted metal out and put new metal in for $250 and throw in a paint job for a total of $1,000. I don't think the car's worth it. And I wonder if I should buy my granddaughter a cellular phone when this thing breaks down while she's driving to South Carolina.
Yeah, I would.
She has to make just the one trip, or she's going to commute?
Oh, no. She'll be back and forth holidays, spring break, you know?
Yeah. Well, your son is clearly wacko.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
He must take after your wife, right?
Yeah, he certainly can't take after you because you seem like a very sane guy.
Although that laugh is a little bit suspect.
What kind of life can they get out of this car? Is it worth putting $1,000 into?
Well,
yeah.
I mean, if I had it, I wouldn't put $1,000 into cosmetic things like rust. I would put $1,000 into making sure the thing ran.
Yeah.
Where is this car from originally?
This happened up in Connecticut.
Oh, so it's likely that this thing is all rusted to beat the band.
Oh, probably.
I mean, a
sure.
13-year-old car that
Yeah.
spent its entire life in the Northeast where we salt the roads heavily is apt to have the whole undercarriage like Swiss cheese.
You're going to have someone to really take a look underneath, and the first thing they're going to have to look at is whether or not the undercarriage is really rusted away.
Yeah, because $1 might have been too much to pay for the car. Maybe it's only worth like 65 cents.
Maybe.
And then you're going to have someone like, dude, check it out as though you were buying it, buying a used car. And see if the front end is hanging together, see if the engine is all right. I mean, there are all kinds of things that a good mechanic can tell just by testing and looking.
But most importantly, you want to make sure that the car has reasonably good structural integrity. And the reason for that is if it's all rusted away, she may not fall out, her butt may not fall out on the highway, but if she were to have an accident with it, the car might disintegrate and not offer her much protection. So that's important. So even if you're wearing the seatbelt, if the car crumbles when you get hit, the seatbelt isn't going to help you any. So that's what you want to make sure of.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what's your alternative? If you didn't get this car, if he didn't get this car for her, and what would she do if she couldn't get from
Well,
Connecticut?
she would do the same thing she's been doing, bumming a ride or flying back and forth.
Yeah.
Either that or they go out and buy another car.
What do you drive, Tom?
I drive an '89 Toyota Camry.
Give it to her.
You're ready for a new car. I can sense that.
You want me to give my car to her, huh?
Yeah,
Oh, why not?
She is your favorite granddaughter, after all.
Yeah.
No, I mean, your son's basic premise is complete hogwash.
Yeah.
That these cars don't break in till 100,000 miles and you'll get 400,000 miles out of them. He's nutso. So you got to have it completely checked out to see if the thing is really roadworthy. And if it isn't, then she's going to have to continue to bum rides or fly back and forth.
But if
Not that I would
if he
ever recommend
persists-
flying to anybody.
Right. If he insists that she have this car, obviously get the thing checked out thoroughly. Get the cell phone for her and a handgun. and I think she'll be all set. Good luck, Tom.
Good luck, Tom.
Alternatively, give her the Camry and
Yeah, the Camry would be a good car for her.
buy yourself that Lexus you've been lusting after. See you later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Kristin, and I'm calling from Watertown, Ma.
Kristin. Kristen.
No.
I-N.
I-N, very good.
Kristin.
Oh, that kind of Kristin. You're really, whoop,
I'm one of them.
authentic.
Watertown, Ma. Right in our backyard, right next to our Fair City.
Right down the
In
street.
fact, it abuts our Fair City.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Cool.
So what's on your mind, Kristin?
Well, I have a 1992 Nissan Sentra.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, I was on my way home from work, and I go down the same hill every day. And there's a cross street at the bottom, and somebody pulled out, of course, right in front of me. So I had to hit the brakes, and I came to a skidding stop, and I did not hit them, which was good. But it was a really hard stop, and I had to veer off to the right to make sure I didn't hit them.
Yeah.
Now, ever since then, at low speeds, when I take a right turn at an angle up or an angle down,
I'm with you.
the car dies. I think
Get out.
No. Really, I scared it.
Jeez,
Okay,
what
I'm
could
going to
you
go
have-
out on a limb here.
Oh, go ahead. I'll get the saw.
Kristin is dreaming.
I am not dreaming.
Oh, no. Kristin, I'm with you, my sister.
You are.
Yeah.
And did this start happening immediately?
It started, the first time it happened was the next day.
The next day.
Yep.
All right.
Well, I'll tell you, we had in our shop not long ago. Well, when did we go on vacation?
2 months ago.
We had a Ford Taurus that had an interesting problem. This guy had what we call an intense misfire. And you would drive the car, and you put it in drive and take off, and as you accelerated down the street, and the harder you accelerated, the worse it was, the engine would cut out, cut in, cut out, cut in, boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
and whip your head back and forth. So we assumed it was a regular miss, and we did all the traditional tests, and we could find nothing. In fact, in the shop, the car ran great.
Yeah. A mechanical thing, I'll bet you.
Well, it was a mechanical electrical thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and the way we figured out what it was we put the car in reverse, and we drove it with the same kind of acceleration.
That must have been exciting.
Yes, I had to strap Manny to the rear bumper, and he had to give me hand signals: left, right, left, no more left. But when we drove it in reverse hard, we noticed it did not do it.
Right.
So we knew it was not the kind of electrical miss that is a result of a bad plug or a bad plug wire or something like that.
I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Go ahead.
Engine mount.
Very good.
But wrong.
No, exactly
But right?
Boy, a vacation is a wonderful thing.
Isn't it, though? It's great. Yeah.
It renewed your brain cell. This car had a broken motor mount, and because the motor mount was broken, when the thing was accelerated in drive, the engine would move enough to pull on a wiring harness and cause an intermittent misfire because the harness, I don't remember which harness it was, but it would control the ignition system. The wires would get pulled apart, and of course, as soon as the engine would miss, what would happen? The engine would return back to its original position because it was no longer producing torque
again.
And spark, no spark, no spark. So you could have done that same kind of damage in averting this accident.
Right. A very hard stop like that.
Yeah, because I was going down a hill.
It would tear loose a weak motor mount.
Okay.
Or maybe even not tear it loose, but just move things enough so that now you've yanked on a harness. What you need your mechanic to do is open the hood and with the engine running, start yanking on all the wires. That's how we finally discovered it in this car. We started yanking on things, and we got the thing to misbehave until we finally cut away the insulation and found the broken wires.
Okay.
And I told you I was with you from the beginning, even though my brother thought you were a wacko. I was with you, Kristin.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I want you to remember that.
I was coming around. The more I thought about it, the more I was going to come around.
When the time comes to cast your ballot as to who the better brother is, I want you to remember this conversation.
Okay.
But have your mechanic yank on the wires, and he'll find a bad connection. I'm
All right.
positive.
Okay.
See you, Kristin.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, it's time for a break.
There's a lot more stuff coming up right after the following messages, so stick around.
On the plus side, you get sponsor-free listening to over 25 NPR podcasts. On the minus side, you get fewer chances to tap fast forward on your podcast player. On the plus side, you get to support something you care about. On the minus side, you like challenges and think this makes it too easy. So why don't you join us on the plus side of things with NPR Plus? Learn more and sign up at plus.npr.org.
Hola, it's Sarah Gonzalez. At Planet Money, when we say we want you to understand the economy, sure, we mean tariffs and global supply chains and interest rates, cosas así, but also we shot a satellite into space. We made our own vodka, became a record label, made a comic book, all to help you make better sense of the world around you. Listen to the Planet Money podcast from NPR.
On Fridays, the 1A podcast is all about helping you cut through the info fog and get to what's important in the news. Close out the week with us on our Friday News Roundup. Hear from reporters who've been embedded with the biggest news of the week. Join us every week for the Friday News Roundup. Listen to the 1A podcast from NPR and WAMU.
On the Planet Money podcast, the economic world we've been living in for decades was built on some basic assumptions. But the people who built that world are long gone. And right now, those assumptions are kind of up in the air. Like the dollar as the reserve currency. Is that era over? If so, what could replace it? And what does that mean for the rest of us? Listen to the Planet Money podcast from NPR wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, we're back. You're listening to Car Talk on National Public Radio with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers, and we're here to discuss cars, car repair, and the puzzler's vacation schedule.
Yeah, I mean, what's the story? Is he back yet?
Not quite. He's apparently been, shall we say, detained. The authorities,
Detained? Let me see. I'm looking up the word detained. Here it is. From the Latin detinere, to hold back. Definition, number 1, to be delayed. So the puzzler has been delayed. Is that what you're trying to tell us?
No, not exactly, no.
Okay, definition number 2, kept in custody or confinement.
There you go.
Uh-oh. Well, since the puzzler has been detained again, we suggest you tune into this week's classic puzzler from the archives.
Wait a minute. Classic puzzler from the archives? Define classic.
Used.
And define archive.
A big pile of tapes.
Okay, so you can hear or read one of our used puzzlers from our very big pile of old Car Talk puzzlers by simply going to the Car Talk section of cars.com. But in the meantime, what's next?
Well, in the meantime, I thought I'd share some sage advice with you.
Go ahead.
This is from Bruce Peterson from somewhere. This is good. I mean, we all need something in our lives to help show us the way.
Yes,
Here
food
it
for
is.
thought. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Never criticize a man until you have walked a mile in his shoes. That way, when you do criticize him, you'll be a mile away, and you'll have his shoes.
Good.
I like it. See, I mean, you don't realize the deeper meaning. I mean, you've heard that expression, you have to walk a mile in his shoes.
Well, I must confess,
I never understood why.
I never understood it either until just now. Amazing.
You're going to be a mile away. He's not going to be able to punch you in the nose like he would want to do.
And he can't chase after you.
Because he's got no shoes.
All right. Well, speaking of sage advice, if you want something remotely resembling that, you can call someone else. But if you want to call us, the number is 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
This is Melissa Gold from Whitefish, Montana.
Hi, Melissa.
You have to settle an argument that I've been having with my husband for 2 years.
Go ahead.
Okay, I have a 1990 Subaru station wagon, 4-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
We bought extra rims so that we could switch out the winter tires and the summer tires easily.
Good.
We put the new rims on the front, and the car wouldn't move.
Interesting.
And so my husband put washers on all of the posts sticking out between the wheel mechanism and the rim.
Good thinking.
Not really.
Yeah,
And then,
I'll bet it helped.
Well, yeah, the car moved.
It worked, but it was stupid.
The car moves.
Yeah.
And so, but every time I go to have the wheels changed out,
They try to take them off.
tire guys go, "What are those?
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that."
I don't like it.
You bought these wheels at a junkyard.
Well, no.
No?
Where did you buy them?
We bought them secondhand.
Oh, you bought them
tire
secondhand.
store. Yeah.
They're the wrong wheels.
They're the wrong wheels.
They're the
for
wrong
the car.
wheels.
Okay, and what's happening? The reason the wheels won't turn is that the
brakes are on.
The brake caliper is being wedged in between the wheel and the disc. So that's why you can't turn the wheels.
Yeah.
As the brake pads wear out and that caliper slide moves closer to the middle of the car, you will create room for these wheels and you'll be able to put them on. So you need to get the right wheels, Melissa.
Well, we know what the solution is, but the argument is that my husband says that race car drivers do this, and so there's no reason why we can't do it to the Subaru.
And they die in fiery crashes. You see those wheels fly off? Well, here's my objection to it. By putting, how many washers are you putting behind the wheel? 1 or 2?
Just 1.
1? See, you have less thread of the nut holding on to the studs.
Yeah.
By doing this.
Because you're moving everything out.
It's certainly not what the manufacturer intended.
No.
It's not good to mess around with wheels.
So I can tell him that the car guy said don't do it.
Yeah, tell him that don't
buy
do
the
it.
right wheels.
He paid $5 a piece for these wheels, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for $10, you're going to risk your life. Now, if he had paid $20 a wheel,
then we'd
then
say,
I'd
go
say,
ahead and
well,
risk your life.
what
right?
the hell?
Yeah, but it isn't worth it. Even if you're from Montana, it isn't worth it. I know you risk your life every day doing 100 miles an hour, but it's not worth it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, don't even tell him.
Don't tell him?
Just go out and buy a couple of new wheels.
Yeah.
Good luck, Melissa.
Thanks very much.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
I'm Charlotte Patterson.
Hi, Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
From?
Port Angeles, Washington.
Port Angeles.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Port of the Angels.
Yeah.
And it's in the state of Washington, D.C. Washington? The state of
State of
Washington?
Washington.
Not Washington, D.C.
No.
No, there are no cities in Washington, D.C.
There aren't?
That's it. Oh, God.
This on the West Coast.
I did not get a liberal education. I know nothing about geography, history, nothing. Nothing.
Well, that'll do. Anyway, Charlotte, what's happening?
Well, my car is making a weird sound, and what I want to know is, should I try to get it fixed or should I just ignore it? And, I'm worried that it'll blow up or something or do something weird, and then I'll have to spend a fortune.
All right,
sounds are difficult to put black tape over, but...
Well, headphones. When does it happen?
As soon as I start the engine.
Okay. So you turn the key.
I turn the key.
It goes, boom, it starts up.
The car starts, and this noise is in my dashboard. It goes... kind of like a gurgle.
Gurgle. I was going to ask you, is it metallic or gurgling? It's gurgling.
Kind of gurgly.
I'm going to guess you have a Honda Civic.
No.
All right.
Toyota Corolla.
Same thing.
Same Corolla.
Same car.
Close enough.
Close enough, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Have you had any work done on
the cooling system
like
lately?
the radiator, the water pump?
See, I think it is probably harmless, but you should check just one little thing.
Okay.
And that is to check to make sure you have enough coolant in the cooling system.
And the way you do that is to take the radiator cap off, but only when the engine is stone cold.
Uh-huh.
And you may find out that the antifreeze level is low because what you're hearing air that's trapped in the heater core getting mixed in with the antifreeze as it's beginning to circulate, and you're hearing that gurgling.
Yeah, and the reason for the question about have you had any work done on the cooling system is if someone had done work and then had refilled the cooling system without bleeding it, there might be air in the system.
Right. They may have been more concerned with bleeding you instead.
Right. It might just be low on coolant. So when it's stone cold, you take off the radiator cap, you look inside, the fluid level should be right there. I mean, an eighth of an inch below the top.
Okay.
And if it isn't, you have to go to your shop and have them check it for leaks because you may have a leak from a loose hose clamp or something relatively minor.
Okay.
You should never lose coolant.
Well, can I ask you something, though? When I don't have the heater on, which I haven't for the last week or two,
the noise went away.
Right, because
that's where the noise is.
Because when the heater's off, you have shut down the heater control valve and you're preventing the flow of coolant into the heater core.
Oh, wonderful. So I don't have to worry.
And you won't hear it.
Well, you do have to worry because you may be very low on coolant.
I'll check that.
Don't forget about it because you will forget about it if you don't go out and check it right now.
Good luck, Charlotte.
Oh, thank you.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, you've done exactly what you should be doing this summer. You've completely wasted an hour listening to Car Talk. Our esteemed producer is Doug, the subway fugitive, not a slave to fashion. and in desperate need of a haircut, Berman. Our associate producer and dean of the College of Automusicology is Ken Babyface Rogers.
Not in need of a haircut,
No,
you might add.
he got debozoed recently. Our assistant producer is Catherine Cathode Ray, and our engineer is Jonathan Superhighway Sideburns Marston, and our menu advisor is Mr. John S. Lawler, who's not here.
Not here, no.
Our public opinion pollster is Paul Murky of Murky Research, assisted by statistician Margin Overa. Our customer care representative is Haywood Jabuzzoff, assisted by Kurt Reply. Our director of catering is Russell Upsongrub. Our director of winter motorcycling is Helmut Cold. And our director of brake testing is Tom Stoppard.
Yeah.
Tom Stoppard.
Stoppard.
There you go. Peekaboo Street directs our intensive care unit, which is known as the Peekaboo ICU. Our director of moral support is Hugh DeMann. Our sexual harassment counselor is Pat McCann. And our Leo Tolstoy biographer is Warren Peace, author of Leo Tolstoy by Warren Peace. Our chief counsel from the law firm of Dewey, Cheatham & Howe is Hugh Louis Dewey, known to the American Association of Disgraced Lawyers as Huey Louis Dewey. Thanks so much for listening. We're Click and Clack. The Tappert brothers don't drive like my brother.
Don't drive like my brother.
Or our sister. We'll be back next week. Bye-bye.
And now here is our chief mechanic, Mr. Vinny Boombots, with some highly germane information.
Jermaine, hey, we speak English here, buddy, you know? Now, if you want a copy of this week's Car Talk show, which happens to be show number 31, you call our Shameless Commerce Division at 1-888-CAR Junk. You got that?
Yes, and if you wanted other car talk paraphernalia, would they call the same number, Vinny?
No, you call Chainsaw Al Dunlop. No, of course you call the same number. 888-CAR Junk. Or you get stuff through our online Shameless Commerce Division at the Car Talk section of cars.com.
Thank you very much, Vincent. Your broadcasting skills are improving markedly.
Mark this, will you? Car Talk is a production of Dewey, Cheatham & Howe and WBUR in Boston.
And even though Walter Cronkite shakes his head despondently and says, "Is that really the way it is?" when he hears us say it, this is NPR, National Public Radio.
The Nintendo Switch 2 is already the fastest-selling video game console of all time. That's despite the technology behind it lagging years behind its competitors.
Without saying it, Nintendo is selling a culture.
On The Indicator, we unpack the unusual business strategy that transformed a tiny Japanese toy company into a global multimedia giant. Listen to The Indicator from Planet Money wherever you get your podcasts.
On NPR's Wildcard podcast, Michelle Obama says she's reinventing herself.
I don't know if my ambition has ever fully been able to actualize itself. I think I'm now at a stage in my life where all my choices are mine.
I'm Rachel Martin. Listen to Wildcard for a conversation about balancing family and personal growth with Michelle Obama.
You know those things you shout at the radio or maybe even at this very NPR podcast? On NPR's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, we actually say those things on the radio and on the podcast. We're rude across all media. We think the news can take it. Listen to NPR's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me wherever you get your podcasts.